The Governor of Anambra State, Mr. Willie Obiano, says developing local council areas is top priority for his administration. This explains why he's flagging off his next project scheme in Idemili South and Dunukofia local government areas. The 20 billion naira government-sponsored community project is to address the collective needs of residents.
Work has already commenced on site at Nobi community in Idemili local government area under the 20 million naira community Choose Your Project Development Initiative of the state government. With the approval of the state government's tenders and approval system, the Community Choice Project is a 500-sitting capacity modern town hall with office rooms and other facilities.
It's going to be a very modern facility that will seat 500 of the people in this community for their various functions, for their meetings, for what have you, weddings, some social functions that will bring life and prosperity in that.
The communities see the project as a signal that the government is increasing its presence, and the people say they appreciate the gesture.
We shall be forever grateful to you for the honor bestowed on the town today.
And moving over to Ukulu in Dunukofia local government area, the residents, like others from Idemili, troop out to receive the governor.
The contractor has been mobilized to start work, and we are sure that this work will be completed on or before January next year.
For many, projects such as this will go a long way in reassuring the people about the seriousness of those in government.
It is important that a community have a place where they can gather to take decisions, to meet themselves for various occasions. So this is an empowerment of the local community.
These projects, when completed, will help improve the internally generated revenue of the state, as the halls and the multi-purpose centers are expected to be giving out for use.
Meanwhile, the Kwara State government says it's opening a new chapter for infrastructure development. A scheme which it calls the Infrastructure Development Fund is intended to fund abandoned projects. Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed explains that the initiative is to pool funds for infrastructure projects and optimally leverage on private sector resources for infrastructure development.
With the economic downturn hitting hard on the nation, states are finding alternative ways to raise their internally generated revenue and plow same back into infrastructure development. Kwara State is not an exception.
The infrastructure fund is a chain of system, and it's one of the systems that we've been building for. What did you charge us with? You ask these questions. How do we remain viable? How do we survive? How do we sustain ourselves? How do we emerge stronger? And how do we ensure that we never go back? We never go back to looking at the federal government to sustain us. We never go back to looking at petrodollar to sustain us. So what do? We simply set this target that we set for us.
This gathering, the first in the state since the nation went into recession, has captains of industries, traditional leaders, senior civil servants, contractors, and foreign consultants in attendance.
Members of corporate world and business community are present.
They're proposing a 5 billion naira investment fund for infrastructure, an idea the state government believes is a good alternative to the monies shared from the federal purse every month.
In order to ensure accountability and isolate the funds from political control, the IFK will be managed by a reputable investment company, Investment One, which has been appointed by law as trustee for the scheme. Investment One is also to market and fund, is also expected to market the fund to potential investors and mitigate against payment risks by ring-fencing the funds and limiting their utilization to the approved purposes for which they have been earmarked. In other words, the trustees are independent of the state government and will only disburse funds upon presentation of a certificate of completion and at agreed project milestones.
If this new funding method succeeds, many believe it's a template that can be replicated by other states so they can fund their own development and reduce the dependence on monies shared from the Federation account.
Let's switch lanes now to talk about business news. Here's Imana Amawe.
Many thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Business News. The value of ticket sales revenue owed to foreign airlines in Nigeria has been reduced by 50% to $246 million since June. And that's according to the spokesperson of the International Air Transport Association, Mona Orbin, as talks continue towards settling the remaining account. In June, the airline trade group said airline revenue worth $5 billion was blocked by countries with tight currency exchange rate controls, with Nigeria withholding about $591 million of the total amount. And at the equities market, bearish sentiments dominated following sell-offs in the oil and gas sector, and investors continue to lock in gains on earlier positions taken. Here's Millicent Walker with a summary of the day's trading activities.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The local stock market index and capitalization dropped by 0.05% at the close of Tuesday's trading session on the back of profit-taking and significant price declines from some high-cap equities. The decline on the price chart included 20 losers led by Shaka Cement, Fresco and Carverton, while the gainers table had 18 advances led by Law Union and Rock, Guinness and Curtis. On the activity chart, investors traded a total of 294.9 million shares valued at 1.41 billion naira in 3,142 transactions. From that turnover, livestock feeds pulled over 104.5 million shares. Next is FCMB, and in third position is UVA. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Millicent Walker.
Many thanks, Millicent. Oil fell 3% on Tuesday after Saudi Arabia said it did not expect to agree on output cuts at a meeting with other producers in the Algerian capital, although a production freeze deal is still possible before the end of 2016. Global benchmark Brent crude futures slipped by 2.98% to $45.94 per barrel in the evening. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries will hold informal talks along with non-OPEC producers at 3 p.m. local time on Wednesday on the sidelines of the International Energy Forum. Producers hope to freeze output, which analysts say will still not remove excess barrels. The latest meeting in Algiers is OPEC's second attempt to reach an agreement after failed talks in Doha, Qatar in April this year. And it's mixed sentiments in Tuesday's session for some of the world's major stock markets following a combination of a sharp fall in crude oil prices and the conclusion of the first U.S. presidential debate. Let's see the closing numbers. And that's a package on Business News tonight. Very many thanks for the company. I'm Imana Amawe. It's back to Amarachi.
Thanks, Imana. Former chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Abdul Mumin Jibrin, has dismissed the threat of possible suspension over allegations that he breached privileges of members of the House of Representatives. According to the lawmaker, He's filed a suit to prevent himself from being suspended by the House. Jibrin says any attempt to suspend him will amount to contempt of court proceedings.
Yeah, during the recess, knowing fully that they might resort to these antics of suspension, we had gone to court only on the aspect of suspending me, and the speaker also entered appearance in the case. He entered appearance, and so the matter is sub judice, right? As lawyers will say. So if any action is taken in this regard, it will clearly amount to contempt of court. After this sitting again, he threatened me again for the second time that since I did not appear, then that means my non-appearance stands as my defense. This is somebody who is aware that even the matter is a subject of litigation.
The Chief Judge of Lagos State, Justice Oluwafunmilayo Atilade, today released 20 awaiting trial inmates from the Ikoyi prisons. The CJ stated that the number of awaiting trial inmates exceeds the number of those convicted. She adds that the decongestion is aimed at ensuring eligible inmates are given another opportunity to get their lives back on track. Records show that there are 2,358 inmates in the Ikoyi prisons. This includes 2,037 prisoners awaiting trial and 321 convicts. We're looking at what was supposed to be a peaceful protest at the Federal Polytechnic Ado-Ekiti, as students and staff all out on the streets. The protesters carrying placards and singing accused the institution's management of fraud and high-handedness. They also called for the intervention of federal authorities to end what they describe as an era of impunity. Efforts by Channel Television to speak with the school's management proved abortive, as its representative declined when asked to comment on the matter.
Yeah, alleging the director of this great institution and his management for massive fraud. 1, on 2, padding of budget. 3, inability to remit our cooperative deductions at least serially for the past 3 years. We are also alleging the director of this great institution for reason of double standard, nepotism and cronyism, which we can no longer tolerate. Yeah.
Well, efforts to get the school authorities to address the issue failed by efforts by Channel Television, to get the school authorities' comments on the issue failed. Next on the news at 10, Sam Allardyce steps down as England manager after just 68 days on the job over unethical conduct. We'll have more in sports news. Just stay with us.